Good morning to you all. Let's start off this day with a positive proverb, where there is a will, there is a way. And we warmly welcome you all to the 5th December episode of Civilspedia's Daily Current Affairs Analysis brought to you by ShankarIASAcademy. And kindly subscribe to the ShankarIASAcademy YouTube channel and click the bell icon for receiving on-time notification if you haven't done it yet. And here are the list of topics taken for today's discussion. And the first topic is about the scheme known as the PM-AJAY. And the second topic is about the road dust pollution and its controlling mechanism. And the third topic is about the exercise EKUVERIN of 2025. And the fourth topic is India's commitment to disability rights from the mains perspective. And the fifth topic is Prelims Focus, where we discuss important current affairs which are very important for our UPSC prelims. This news article from the Press Information Bureau discuss in brief about the progress made out under PM-AJAY. So with this background, let's have a quick overview about the scheme in detail. And the full name of the scheme is Pradhan Mantri Anusuchit Jati Abhyuday Yojana, and it was launched between 2021 to 22, and the nodal ministry which implements and oversees the scheme will be Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, and it is an centrally sponsored scheme which got 100% fully funded by the Union Government itself, and the primary objective is to have the holistic socio-economic development of the scheduled caste community people, and the scheme will focus more over the betterment and the empowerment of the scheduled caste community people, and it strives for the socio-economic development of the scheduled caste community as a whole. So three schemes got subsumed and merged into this scheme, and the three schemes are Pradhan Mantri Adarsh Gram Yojana, Special Central Assistance to Scheduled Caste Sub-Plan, and Babu Jagjeevan Ram Chhatravas Yojana. These three are the integrated components which got subsumed and merged into the scheme, which got the implementation of the socio-economic empowerment of the scheduled caste communities as a whole. And what are the major components of the scheme? The first is the Adarsh Gram component, which focuses over the development of the villages which has the highest population of scheduled caste communities and strives for the betterment of the village as a whole. And the second component is the grant in aid, which focuses over the skill development and the income generation part of the scheme, and also the betterment of the scheduled caste community people. And third is the hostel component, which focuses over the infrastructural establishment of residential hostels specifically for the scheduled caste community students. And this has to be noted that no individual housing provisions got enlisted in the scheme, and no individual infrastructure development facilities has been provided under this scheme. So this will be very important for our UPSC prelims. And what are the physical and financial progress made out between 2021 to 2025 under the scheme? Under the component of Adarsh Gram villages, 12,964 villages got declared as the Adarsh Gram villages, which has the highest population or dominated by the scheduled caste communities, and 1,651.84 crores has been released for the empowerment as well as the socio-economic development of the village as a whole. And under the grant in aid component, 1,461.13 crores has been released for the skill development and the income generation part of the scheduled caste communities people, and with this the 2.48 lakh scheduled caste people got benefited under this grant in aid component. And under the hostel component, 90 new hostels provisions got infrastructure got sanctioned, and with this 10,649 scheduled caste students got benefited, and also 175.66 crore has been released for the establishment of new hostel provisions. And under the infrastructure and the community development made out by this scheme, 7,162 villages got declared as Adarsh Gram villages, which have the highest population of scheduled caste communities in the last 2 years. And with respect to the infrastructure development made out under the scheme, includes the establishment of roads, which is connecting the internal roads of the villages to the internal parts of the India, which has unlinked from the earlier period. And the street lighting facilities also got established, establishment of soak pits, and also the creation of solid and liquid waste management system is an integrated part of the scheme. And under the scheme, 11,484 skill development and income generation components projects has been approved, and 64 new hostel infrastructure for the residential hostel plans has been sanctioned. And what are the unique planning and governance features associated with this PM-AJAY scheme, or the village development plan prepared through village level convergence committee? So this will be very important, and it focuses more over the educational access of the scheduled caste community students and livelihood of the people, and enhancing the sanitation measures and also the mobility between the internal parts of the villages, and also the public services made out by these people, which enhances the strong convergence based approach of this scheme. And what are the key outcomes and impacts of this scheme? When it is approved, the employability and income increases the employability and income level of the scheduled caste community people, and also the increase in the enrollment of people with related to the education and their retention in the schooling period, and the basic rural infrastructure got developed. And what are the major benefits? It supports the aspirational district program and the scheduled caste dominated blocks of the India. And it also promotes the social inclusion of the scheduled caste community people into the normal stream, and also the poverty reduction of Indian economy as a whole. And coming to the prelims practice question, the first question is, consider the following statement regarding Pradhan Mantri Anusuchit Jatiya Abhyuday Yojana. So first statement is, Pradhan Mantri Anusuchit Jati Abhyuday Yojana provides direct housing assistance to individual scheduled caste households. Second statement, PM-AJAY is 100% centrally sponsored scheme implemented for the socio-economic development of the scheduled caste communities. Which of the above statement is correct? So option A 1 only, option B 2 only, option C both 1 and 2, option D neither 1 nor 2. So the first statement was incorrect because there will be no provision for the direct housing assistance or the individual infrastructure development under the scheme. So the first statement was incorrect and the second statement was correct, and the answer for this question will be option B 2 only. Yes. With this we move to the next topic. The road dust pollution in India is aggravating the air pollution and also creates adverse impact over the air quality of the Indian territory, specifically to the region of National Capital Region. So with this background, let's have a comparative study with the usage of chemical as a suppressant with the water as a suppressant to control the road dust pollution in India. The road dust is a major contributor to the pollution of particulate matter 10 and particulate matter 2.5 in the Indian cities, and in Delhi alone around 3000 kilometers of road stretches are swept mechanically daily during the using the water sprinkler. So it is to be noted here that in the National Capital Region they use water as a suppressant to control the road dust pollution, and the dust may be primarily originate from the construction activities, unpaved shoulders and the vehicular movements. And it is to be significantly worsening the winter air quality of that region because it is a landlocked region and it is of very high humid in nature, which makes the particulate matter to get suspended in the air in a long and prolonged manner, which creates also public health impacts. And here we can see with the movement of the vehicle, which creates a mechanical movement which aggravates the road dust pollution in the Indian territory or the Indian region. And with respect to the usage of chemical dust suppressants, the substance or the chemical substance applied on the dusty surface to get binded with the dust particles and to prevent it from resuspension into the air. And this study was officially conducted by the Enviro Policy Research India and the Council of Scientific Institute, Scientific and Industrial Research, and the National Environmental Engineering and Research Institute, and it was commissioned by the Central Pollution Control Board in the year of 2018. And what are the common type of chemical suppressants used to control the road dust pollution? The calcium chloride, magnesium chloride, lignin sulfonate, asphalt emulsions, and also the bioadditives. So it is to be noted here that this will be very important for our UPSC prelims, that there may be a probable UPSC question on the background of the chemical suppressants used in the controlling of road dust pollution. And what are the effectiveness? This will be the comparative study between the usage of chemical suppressant and water suppressant. So while using water as a suppressant, it will be sprinkled in the dusty areas, and the reduction of the dust using the water suppressants, and the efficiency will be around 25 to 30% only. And the duration of this effect, the usage of water suppressant will be prolonged during, or the usage will suppress the dust particles only around 10 to 15 minutes, which is a very short span of time. And while using the chemical as a suppressant, the dust reduction efficiency will be higher, that is 50 to 60% of efficiency will be provided using the chemical suppressants, and the duration of this effect will be prolonged up to 6 hours, which is also very efficient compared to the water suppressants. And with respect to the chemical suppressants, after the application of this chemical suppressant, the dust level got dropped by 30%, which is also a significant number, and the reduction got suspended or sustained for up to 6 hours with the usage of chemical suppressant. And with respect to the cost of using the water as a suppressant or chemical as a suppressant for the area of 100 square meter for the time period of 6 hours, while using water it will be cost around 90 for a round with the multiple rounds, involving of multiple rounds, because it suspended the area only between 10 to 15 minutes, so it has to be sprayed multiple rounds, and the cost will be around 2160. And while using the chemicals, the single application will be prolonged for 6 hours, and the cost will be around 100 only, which is also a stark difference in the usage of both the subjects or both the substance as a suppressants. And while using chemicals or the cost efficient and but not operationally flexible because of its usage and other adverse impacts which causes public health impact over the usage of chemical. And why this chemical suppressants are not widely used, or what are not widely in practice to get the control of road dust pollution? Because of the mechanical limitation it has. They form a thin surface layer around the dust particles, and it will get break instantly under the mechanical movement of vehicles and also the machineries and also the footfall of the people, and hence it will be used only in low disturbance areas, which is less of mechanical movement as well as the footfall region. And what are the public health and environmental risks associated with the usage of chemical as a suppressant? When the chemical suppressant was overly used, it can cause mild respiratory irritation, skin reactions, and soil degradation, and the contamination of groundwater, which is also important with respect to national capital region, and it can damage to the nearby vegetation. So these are all the probable health risks associated with the usage of chemical suppressant along with the environmental risk. Moving to the prelims practice question, consider the following statement. The first statement: chemical dust suppressants have shown higher effectiveness than water in reducing particulate matter of 10 levels on the roads in India, Delhi, as per Central Pollution Control Board and NEERI studies. And the second statement: CSIR and NEERI has classified chemical dust suppressants as completely harmless to soil and groundwater. Which of the above statements are correct? So in this question they have asked about the correct statement, and with respect to the first statement it was correct, and the second statement it was incorrect, because it is not completely harmless to be declared by the CSIR NEERI. It has been some health effects as well as the environmental risk associated with the usage of chemical dust suppressants. So the answer for this question will be option A, one only. Let's check. Yes. With this we move to the next topic. This news article from the Indian Express is discussing about the recent ongoing joint military exercise between India and Maldives known as Exercise EKUVERIN of 2025. So what is this exercises of? It is a bilateral military exercise, so it is to be noted, which is very important for our UPSC prelims. It is a bilateral military exercise with the participation of Indian Army and Maldives National Defence Force, and the name EKUVERIN in the exercise means friends in the Divehi language. So this Divehi is the official language of Maldives and having an Indo-Aryan language of origin, and this Divehi language will be written in the Tana script. And it will be read in the right to left manner. And this exercise symbolizes the defense cooperation and mutual trust of both the nation, and also the strategic partnership of the nations in the Indian Ocean region. So this will be the 14th edition of this exercise in the year of 2025, which will be held between December 2 to December 15, and the venue of this exercise will be Trivandrum of Kerala, and the Indian contingents will be participating, that is the 45 personnel from the Southern Command of the Armed Forces will be participating in this exercise, and with respect to the Maldivian contingent, 45 personnel from the Maldivian National Defence Force will be participating in this exercise, and the past Indian venues are Pune of Belagavi. So it is to be noted here that this exercise EKUVERIN will be began in the year of 2009 between both the nation, and this will be conducted alternatively in India and Maldives. And this is the 2025th edition photograph of EKUVERIN, exercise EKUVERIN of 2025. And the primary objective of this exercise is to have training in the insurgency and counter terrorism activities between both the nations, and the operational terrains will be of jungle, semi-urban and the coastal regions too. And the main focus or the key focus areas of this exercise EKUVERIN will be the conduction of tactical drills and joint operational planning, as well as conducting special operations. And what are the strategic and technological focus of this exercise? It will be integrating the niche emerging technology. So this will be an integration of emerging technologies of both the nations or across the world has to be integrated into this exercise to have an overall participation of both the armed forces, which will enhance the interoperability and the coordination and teamwork between both the armed forces of the nation, and sharing of the best practices that has to be shared between both the nations, and the tactical innovations that has to be shared upon the nations. And what are the strategic importance for India? It strengthens the India's neighborhood first policy. This has to be quoted in our main answer also. And also it strengthens the Sagar doctrine of India, which is security and growth for all in the region. So it is also strengthens the India's position in the Indian Ocean region, and also to counter the China's string of pearl strategy, and it enhances the maritime security, counter terrorism coordination and stability in the Indian Ocean region. And Maldives is strategically located along the Indian Ocean region, and it is also located in the major sea lanes of communication. So this is also very important for our UPSC prelims. And here we can see the Maldives in close proximity to the Indian Ocean territory. So with this, we have to note that apart from this exercise EKUVERIN, there is a series of other exercise too that will be between India and Maldives participation, or exercise Dosti, which is the participation of India, Sri Lanka and Maldives Coast Guard, which is an Coast Guard exercise, and exercise Ekata, which is an annual bilateral naval exercise between India and Maldives. And also the Operation Shield is a regular bilateral joint military exercise between Indian Armed Force and Maldives National Defence Force. So these are all very important for our UPSC prelims. So kindly note that. So moving to the prelims practice question with reference to India Maldives joint military exercise EKUVERIN, consider the following statement. First statement, exercise EKUVERIN focuses on counter insurgency and counter terrorism operation across jungle, semi-urban and coastal terrains. And the second statement, it is a joint tri-service exercise involving the Army, Navy and Air Force of both the countries. Which of the statements given above is are correct? So in this question they have asked about the correct statement, and the first statement was correct because it focuses more over the counter-insurgency and counter-terrorism activities, and the area of operation will be jungle, semi-urban and the coastal terrains. And the second statement was incorrect because it is not a tri-service, it is a joint military exercise, and it is between the Maldives National Defence Force and the Indian Armed Force, and not involving Navy or Air Force. So this has to be the incorrect statement. The answer for this question will be option A. Yes, and we also has to note that India will be the largest military training partner of Maldives. So with this, we move to the next topic. The 3rd December of every year will be observed as the International Day of Person with Disabilities. With this background, let's discuss in detail about the India's commitment to disability rights. So this news article was taken from Press Information Bureau. And with respect to the census of 2011, 2.68 crore people has been identified with the person with disabilities, which constitute 2.21 percentage of the India's population. And with this 2.21 percentage, the gender got distributed around 1.5 crore of male has been identified with the person with disabilities, and 1.18 crore of females. And disability is now recognized as a human rights issue, developmental oriented and the social justice issue, not as a mere welfare concern. And with respect to the constitutional and international commitment with respect to the person with disabilities towards the India's commitment, Article 41 clearly states that it is the obligation of the state to assist the disabled person. And India is also a signatory to the United Nations Convention on the Right of Person with Disabilities, which shows the India's commitment towards the empowerment of person with disabilities to have empowered in the society. And India has also shifted or moved from charity based approach to the right based approach. And with respect to Right of Person with Disabilities Act of 2016, it replaced the earlier act known as the Person with Disabilities Act of 1995, and also recognized 21 other categories of disabilities into this renewed act, and also the inclusion of key provisions such as the 4% reservation in the government jobs and 5% reservation in higher education, and there need to be a mandatory accessibility in the public infrastructure such as the provision of ramping facilities or assistance with related to wheelchair has to be established, and the centralized disability certification program also got enlisted under this renewed act, and also the protection of legal protection against any kind of discrimination against the person with disabilities. And what are the major government initiatives to get inclusive of this person with disabilities? The one such initiative is the Sugamya Bharat Abhiyan of 2015, which is the Accessible India campaign, which focused more over the accessible infrastructure, inclusive transport and digital accessibility. So with this digital accessibility, there is an app known as Sugamya Bharat app of 2025, which focuses over the accessibility mapping and the information delivery of the related to the schemes related to person with disability to the concerned person, and it supports multilingual provisions and also have a dedicated grievance system, and it is very assistive and tech friendly in nature, who can easily access the app easily. And with related to the other initiative, that is unique disability ID, with this provision there will be a possibility of establishing national wide centralized person with disability database, which prevents the duplication because of this unique ID, and also enables the direct benefit transfer to the account holders easily who are affected by the person with disabilities, and it can also be used for the certification of disability, and also can avail railway concessions and welfare schemes. And moving to the next is the economic and social empowerment, the ADIP scheme of 1981, which is assistance to the person with disabilities in procurement or purchase, and to install the aid and assistance, such as it provides artificial limbs, hearing aids, wheelchairs, and cochlear implants, which got implemented through Alimco, which is Artificial Limbs Manufacturing Corporation of India. And moving to the next is the National Divyangjan Finance and Development Corporation, focuses more over the financial as well as the socio-economic development of the person who are affected with disabilities. And two such schemes uh, got under this National Divyangjan Finance and Development Corporation, or Divyangjan Swalamban Yojana and Vishesh Microfinance Yojana. Moving to the next is the educational skill development and the employment opportunities of the person with disabilities. There is a dedicated portal known as Pradhan Mantri Dakshta or Kaulshata Sampan Hitgarhi under the Department of Empowerment of Person with Disabilities portal. And these two, that is Divyangjan Kaushal Vikas and Divyangjan Roskar Sedu, focuses more over the educational skill development and the employment opportunities for the person with disabilities. And there is a dedicated national action plan for the skill development of person with disabilities, which enhances the uh, uh, opportunities for work with related to the person with disabilities. And the MOU has been signed between Amazon Youth for Jobs and Godrej Properties. And the geo-tagged jobs vacancies across the India will also enable them to easily access the job opportunities for the person who are affected with person with disabilities. And related to the promotion of Indian Sign Language, the Indian Sign Language Research and Training Institute Center got established in the year of 2015, and it will be the world's largest Indian Sign Language digital repository by the year of 2025. And there is a dedicated channel known as the channel 31 in the PM-AJAY, which is dedicated for the Indian Sign Language education. And there is an MOU signed between National Center for Education, Cultural and National Center for Educational Research and Training, and the Indian Sign Language Research and Training Center for making the Indian Sign Language textbooks, which will be very beneficial for the person with disabilities. And there is a dedicated app known as the Prashast app, which is also important for our UPSC prelims. And with respect to the cultural and economic aspects of inclusion of person with disabilities, there is a platform known as the Divya Kala Mela, on which the platform the Divyangjan entrepreneurs and artisan will showcase their talents, which is linked with the Vocal for Local initiative, and also supports startups and self-help groups made out by the person with disabilities. And the 2025 edition will be held in the Patna, Vadodara, and Jammu Kashmir subsequently. And it will be of inclusive in nature, with related to the showcasing of assistive technologies related to the empowerment of person with disabilities, and also the conduction of job fairs and the performance of cultural events in that platform. And there is also an festival known as Purple Fest of 2025, which will be digital inclusion breakthrough in the event of person with disabilities, which got launched the revamped Sugamya app, which is the Accessible India inclusive, and the Indian Sign Language skill certification also been enabled under this Purple Fest, and American Sign Language and British Sign Language training for the Indian Sign Language interpreters also been included, which strengthens the global employability of the Indian interpreters who are affected with the person with disabilities and the disability inclusive education ecosystem. And what are the challenges associated with the proper implementation of the or the welfare to get the person with disabilities to got empowered, or the poor rural accessibility, which got less penetration into the rural level, and low private sector disability employment is also a primary concern, and uneven implementation across the states is also a major concern towards the empowerment of these people. And the infrastructure audits are still showing a low progress. And what are the suggested way forwards? Mandatory disability audits for all public projects need to be evaluated and conducted in a proper manner, and private sector reservation also being incentivized to get them more inclusive into the employment opportunities. And universal assistive technology got coverage under this will enable them to have a equal platform for working, and AI enabled accessibility tools will assist them in a better manner. And moving to the mains practice question, the question is, India has moved from the welfare centric approach to a right based framework for disability inclusion. Critically examine this transition with reference to the Rights of Person with Disabilities Act of 2016 and recent digital initiatives. And this is a 15 mark question, need to be answered within 250 words. Please take this question and post your answers in the comment section given below. We will evaluate and give the feedback in the comment section itself. Let's move to the prelims focus. Coming to the prelims focus, and the first topic is about simulations decode rare twin radio galaxies twisting in space. So what are these twin radio galaxies? They are extremely rare radio galaxy systems, and only 3 has been known so far. And this was formed when 2 merging massive galaxies and each host a supermassive black hole that simultaneously emits bipolar plasma jets, and these 2 twin jets travel in the opposite directions, extending for 100 to 1000 to millions of light years. And the jets are studied through their radio emissions which got emitted during the 2 merging massive galaxies, which shows their structure, bending and interaction with the environment. And moving to the next topic is about the Law Commission of India. Recently, the 23rd Law Commission states that the simultaneous poll bills, which is the One Nation One Election bill, can become a law with just the Parliament's approval, and there need not to be ratified by the 50% of the states for its formal approval. And with this background, let's discuss more about the Law Commission of India. The first Law Commission of the independent India got established in the year of 1955, and it got the tenure of 3 years term under the chairmanship of MC Setalvad, who is also the former Attorney General of India. And with respect to the Law Commission, it is a non-statutory advisory body established by the notification from the Ministry of Law and Justice for a specific period of tenure to conduct legal research for reforms. And it got established initially, it has the background of 1834, on which it got independent before the it got established before the independence under the Charter Act of 1833, with Lord Macaulay serving as its chairman, which got the reform to get the Indian Penal Code, and India IPCC got codified. And the tenure it got was, it reconstituted for a fixed period, typically the 3 years term, with its term of reference got defined in the notification itself. And with respect to its composition, it includes the full-time chairmen and full-time members and ex officio members, like the Secretary of the Department of Legal Affairs also got involved, and also the composition also has the part-time members for its legal research. And the function of this law commission, the Law Commission functions as the India's legal think tank, combining research, consultation and drafting to recommend reforms that strengthens the rule of law and modernized statutes of the Indian Constitution. And moving to the prelims practice question with reference to the Law Commission of India, consider the following statement. First statement, it is a statutory body created under the Law Commission Act of 1956. Second statement, its recommendation are binding on the Government of India. Third statement, the chairman or the chairperson of the Law Commission is usually a retired Supreme Court judge or a retired Chief Justice of High Court. Fourth statement, the Law Commission is constituted by a executive resolution of the Government of India. Which of the statements given above are correct? So the first statement was incorrect because it is not a statutory body. It got established using the executive resolution of Government of India. So the first statement was incorrect, and the second statement is also incorrect because it is a non-statutory body and it is an advisory body, and its recommendation are not binding on the Government of India. So if we know the second statement was incorrect, we can easily arrive at the answer. Option B will be the correct answer. Let's check. Yes, With this, we came to the conclusion of this video. And hope you guys like the video. Please share your positive comments and suggestions in the comment section given below. And share the video to your friends. And don't forget to click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon for receiving on-time notification. Thank you for watching us. Have a good day.